Tell us what's coming up today. Paul, did you know it's all over the Senate committee and House committee? We work for the Russians. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm yet to receive my check from the Kremlin, Alex, but what we've not discussed, and I'm going to play the clip later, is the source of this whole, Russian troll bots control InfoWars, and we're working with them, is somebody called Louise Mensch, who has come out with the most crazy conspiracy theories imaginable. She claims that Vladimir Putin personally ordered the assassination of Andrew Breitbart, so then Steve Bannon would be able to take over it. She was completely decimated during a recent interview on BBC. She's absolutely crazy, and she's the source of this story, and now the FBI's picked up on it.
So they've got a true kook just like the Washington Post had to retract a few months ago, their fake list saying we were Russian funded. They withdrew it because they admitted it was fake. So they just found a new kook to put it out.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you can say what you want, but the fact is, Democrats have lost 63 House seats, 10 Senate seats, 12 governorships.
900 legislative seats.
Yeah, since 2009. Was Russia to blame for all that? You can look at France.
Europe's pissed about all the Muslims being brought in. They claim that's in this report against me today. They claim that that's Russia too.
Everything's Russia. Over in France, they claim Russia is helping Le Pen. She's got 39% support amongst 18 to 24-year-olds, according to polls, more than double her nearest rival. Is that Russia? You've got 41% in the UK now voting Conservative over Liberal and Labour. Is that Russia? Is everything Russia?
No, we're rejecting a bunch of mega banks run by jerks like Zuckerberg saying they rule us. I mean, that's what's happening.
No, and I mean, that big article's gone up with all the examples of Google, Facebook, Twitter manipulating their algorithms. If the FBI wants to investigate someone for manipulating voters during the election, go and investigate Facebook.
Oh, that's a stack I never got to. When they admittedly ran Google, Facebook for Hillary, foreign governments involved, no discussion. I love Donna Brazil bitching about how Russian bots rig stuff when she was on record rigging the debates.
It's amazing. It's like, we have problems communicating with each other sometimes, and yet we're supposedly in constant communication with evil Russian controllers in the Kremlin telling us what to do. Just the very idea of it.
Well, that's because they're a bunch of followers. Paul, you're one of the senior folks around here, but there's very little communication about what to do. We're all too busy manning the guns here, but let's put your headline back up on screen. Here it is, dealing with this. Why the FBI's InfoWars Russia investigation is completely ludicrous. You're going to go over this after the break. Take over, Paul Watson.
All right, thanks, Alex. Yeah, we're going to go over that, and we're going to flash back to a headline we had up on Friday, which was Google obviously caught now gaming their algorithms to bury certain topics. You had an article up on Infowars.com, the headline, Google to target criticism of Islam in new censorship purge. And again, very few people picked up on this. They announced that they would be censoring, quote, upsetting, offensive content on Google, burying search results, directly manipulating information, which is what they accuse us of doing. Now, if you look at the reasons given for declaring something, quote, upsetting, offensive, the example that is provided is a website that says Islam is intolerant. Now, whether you want to talk about acid attacks, people having their hands chopped off under Sharia law, stoning female rape victims to death, all those things happen. Many of them are supported by shockingly large numbers of Muslims. And in fact, we've got a new poll out of France, which shows, again, shocking attitudes of intolerance amongst followers of Islam. So to make the statement that Islam is intolerant is complete fact, yet now they're declaring that as fake news. We'll be back. YouTube, which of course is owned by Google, has introduced a new restricted mode for its platform where basically if you select this restricted mode, you will be protected from offensive and upsetting content. The problem with that is that a bunch of LGBT groups came out and claimed that they were being unfairly discriminated against. Again, it's kind of ironic that they only get angry about Google YouTube censorship when it affects them. We've been whining about it ad infinitum for months and months. But if you look at this Google censorship on YouTube, again, owned by Google, the channels affected in restricted mode Guess which channels are affected. Guess which videos completely disappear when you look at the Alex Jones channel, when you look at my channel. All of them. Every single video on YouTube's new restricted mode, on my channel, on Alex Jones' channel, completely disappears when you select this option. Which channels are unaffected by this new restricted mode introduced by YouTube? Well, imagine my shock. It's CNN. It's CNBC. Even though in many of their videos, they're covering the exact same news stories that we are. In our videos, there's no nudity. There's no violence. In many of them, there's not even any bad language. We're covering the exact same stories as CNBC, as CNN. Not a single one of their videos is restricted in restricted mode. So you go on CNN's channel, every single video is available to watch. You go on the Alex Jones channel, not a single video is up there. So obviously they're using this to target people who they don't like politically. It's not about protecting people from nudity or violence. They're using it to censor free speech yet another way. And we're talking about this, of course, because McClatchy came out with a big report last night confirming that the FBI is investigating RT, Breitbart, Sputnik, and InfoWars for links with the Kremlin, basically arguing on a completely baseless conspiracy theory that we're somehow coordinating with Putin's trollbot army to spread information before the election to sink Hillary Clinton and to help Donald Trump. As we document in this article, well, let's take it from this angle for a start. This is, of course, all about fake news. They want to create the pretext that we're fake news, that we're discredited, that we can be censored on all these social media platforms. How do they do that? Well, they say we're spreading this fake news. It's put out there deliberately to deceive people to make money. Of course, that's a completely different category. There are individuals who do that. We've never done that. But the point is this: Stanford University came out with a major study a couple of months ago into fake news. They found, and you can go and read the study for yourself, that it had absolutely no impact on the US presidential election. So before you even get into an argument about who's pushing fake news, doesn't even matter. Had no impact whatsoever on the US election. There you see the headline. In fact, they went into drilled down into the numbers of this study and found that, if anything, fake news benefited Hillary Clinton, because the fake news articles that were spread most were beneficial to, were positive about Hillary Clinton. Yet they've spun this entire narrative that Donald Trump won the election because of fake news being coordinated by Vladimir Putin's trollbot army. Absolutely ridiculous. Of course, we're going to get into it in a second. The only people that manipulated public opinion, that manipulated news feeds, were Google, Facebook, and Twitter, the very thing they accuse us of doing. But it's interesting to look back as to the source, the individual who originated this deluded, baseless conspiracy theory that we are somehow in control of the Putin trollbot army, or we're coordinating with them. It, of course, traces back to an individual by the name of Louise Mensch, who is now living in America, but was a former Tory MP, now a journalist, and is known for some, let's just say, quite kooky theories, one of which is that Vladimir Putin personally ordered the assassination of Andrew Breitbart. And in fact, we've got a clip from a recent interview she did with the BBC, where even the BBC host basically owns her in the argument, because she sounds absolutely insane when she tries to make this argument. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the impeccable source of the claim that InfoWars worked with Russian trollbot armies to swing the election for Donald Trump. That's their impeccable source right there. A woman who believes that Vladimir Putin personally ordered the assassination of Andrew Breitbart. A woman who believes that she's got superpowers that allow her to see connections where no one else can. A woman who was exposed as being, again, imagine my shock, a Hillary Clinton sycophant. Again, this is the woman who wrote the article before the election, October 2016, for Heat Street, claiming that we were working with Russian troll bots. This is the individual. This is the source. This is also the woman who was exposed in WikiLeaks emails, the John Podesta emails, as being a Hillary Clinton sycophant. This is out of Breitbart. WikiLeaks anti-SJW Heat Street founder Louise Mensch, she poses as a conservative, she's a never Trumper, pitched ad script to Hillary Clinton campaign. And it goes through and quotes the email where she prostrates herself and genuflects to Podesta, to the Hillary Clinton campaign, begging to allow her to write this feminist Hillary Clinton ad. This is the source of the FBI's investigation into these claims. She wrote a huge, rambling article claiming that we were working with Russian troll bots. It was completely debunked, completely eviscerated. In the months since, she went basically further off the wagon with more crazy claims, such as the ones you just heard in that interview. She's basically a laughingstock in the journalism world, and this is the impeccable source, which the FBI is now investigating the claims that originated with her. Absolutely ludicrous, as our article up on Infowars.com details. It also details the fact that, again, the Stanford University study found fake news had no impact on the outcome of the election. So before you even get into an argument about who was behind so-called fake news, didn't even matter. Trump would have won anyway. In fact, as I said, the fake news benefited Hillary more than Trump. That's what the study found. The fake news about Hillary was more beneficial towards her campaign. It circulated more on social media. Then we're going to get into Facebook, we're going to get into Google, we're going to get into Twitter, how they provably manipulated their own algorithms, directed their own employees to bury conservative-friendly news topics throughout the election to benefit Hillary Clinton. They did what the FBI is accusing us of doing. We'll be right back. Finishing up on what we were talking about before the break again. Louise Mensch, the woman who thinks she has superpowers to spot patterns that other people just can't. The woman who wrote a fawning email to John Podesta, to the Clinton campaign, begging, genuflecting for them to allow her to write this feminist Hillary campaign ad. She's the source of this ridiculous conspiracy theory that we were working with the Russian troll bots to sink Hillary Clinton to ensure Donald Trump from the presidency. She's the source of that. Not a very credible source, to say the least. But then you can look at Twitter, you can look at Facebook, you can look at Google. Again, if the FBI wants to investigate someone for manipulating public opinion before the election, Twitter, Facebook, Google are the prime suspects. And we document that in this article up on Infowars.com, red linked, why the FBI's Infowars Russia investigation is completely ludicrous. And I break it down. 2 months before the election, and we reported on it at the time, psychologist Robert Epstein and SourceFeed's Matt Lieberman both exposed how Google was manipulating search results in relation to Hillary Clinton to ensure autocomplete suggestions were biased in favor of Clinton. That is a quote. And you see an example in the article. We include the screenshot. People would type in Hillary Clinton is into a Google search engine. Google only returned positive search results. You type the same search term into other search engines such as Bing and Yahoo, you got different suggested results. You got Hillary Clinton is a liar or Hillary Clinton is a criminal. What did you get on Google.com? You can see the example right there if you zoom in. Basically, Hillary Clinton is God. Bow down and worship her. And of course, we know Google was deeply in bed with the Obama administration. According to Epstein, the psychologist who was quoted by SourceFeed, this had the potential to shift as many as 3 million votes. Google directly manipulating its own search engine in favor of Hillary Clinton. Direct evidence of what they accuse us of doing with no evidence. WikiLeaks emails also revealed that John Podesta, Hillary's campaign manager, sought to have, quote, discreet conversation with the likes of Apple, Facebook, and Google. Then you look at Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg wanted to meet up with the Clinton campaign. Their chief operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg did meet with Clinton Chief of Staff Cheryl Mills in 2015. And we also know the story of how Facebook buried conservative trends, removed them from their trending list, ordered their employees to remove conservative-friendly trends and inject fake artificial trends into that list. Again, to manipulate public opinion. You look at Twitter burying hashtags that were negative towards Hillary Clinton, which Hillary and which Hillary censored. Those hashtags were banned. That was manipulating public opinion. There are numerous more examples where Twitter, Facebook, Google were caught doing what the FBI accuses us of doing with absolutely no evidence whatsoever. We'll be back on the Alex Jones Show live. Breaking news at Infowars.com.